What's up, everybody? It's your boy Season. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Metal Build Gundam Dynames. So the Gundam 00 saga continues. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go. So let's see what we got inside here. So first, we've got the manual, of course. Nothing too spectacular there. Looks like we've got a plethora of hands here. Looks like we've got the back thrusters, the front skirt there with the GN drive. You've got two beam sabers there with the beam saber hilts. Looks like you've got a support piece probably for the sniper rifle there. You've got his shield piece there. That's for the Devise part, I think. You've got this part here, looks like it's a back piece there with the sniper rifle up there. So we've got that. We've got the base of the stand here. So Gundam Dynames GN-002. So you've got the stand there with the support piece there. You've got four pistols in there. Looks like you've got some shield pieces there as well. And then let's take a look what we've got in here. So let's open this guy up. And we've got the Gundam Dynames. Let's see if we can get him out of here. It looks like they have the front part snapped in there. There we go. Let's lift that up. And that's the Gundam Dynames there. So that's what we get in the box. So now let's take a look at the Gundam Dynames. So let's take a look at this Gundam Dynames. So first impressions, I really do like how this looks. He's very, very sturdy. And I will notice that his feet are very, very boxy. So I doubt that he'll have trouble standing like some of the other Gundams that we've seen. But he looks really, really solid. I like how this looks. Now I only put on the front skirt and the back skirts. And he's got quite a bit of a back skirt there. But he's got some thrusters there with the GN drive. I like this. I also like the head sculpt with the little sensor at the top. I do like that as well. Looks really, really good. So there's not really much to complain about here. So as you guys know, I'm not really a fan of the Gundam 00 aesthetic, generally speaking, but I would say that this is probably, for me, this probably ranks number like 3 or 4 in the Gundam 00 series as far as the designs that I like. And I would say that I like this better than the Arios, definitely. But I think overall, I think that it looks solid, and he feels very, very sturdy. So he doesn't feel like he's gonna tumble over at all. And especially that's very interesting considering how big the back skirt or the thrusters on the back are. But I would say that he looks really, really good. He does not have like the shield plates on his sides yet because this is just out of the box. But I think that overall he looks very, very solid. So let's take a look at the Gundam Dynames' accessories. He's got a decent loadout. So let's see what we got. So first up, we have the GN sniper rifle. So this is his primary weapon. So you do have that. You got a nice little scope there. You have decent color separation here. This is more of like a metallic, almost like a bronze color there compared to the barrel there. This will move. So you do have an extension there. So this can move. So you can hold it with 2 hands. So you do have this. This part goes on the shoulder there. So you do have that. It also comes with 2 almost like tripods. So you can have those kind of kicked up. I have one of them in here. That's the short version there. And then you have the long version there. So you can take those out if you like. Then you have the Devise backpack for the Dynames. So these have extra arms. You'll see this on the Devise Exia as well. They have like these extra arms that come out and it can do other things. So you have that. You kind of have like the GN drive there. So you do have that. So it's kind of got like extra arms on it. So you do have that. It can move forward and back. So it does look pretty sound. Then you have the GN shields. So these go on the Dynames' shoulders, and these are his normal size shields. So you see this for the most part in the first half of the series. So you do have some good decal work in here. So pretty nice detail in there as well. Here you have the full GN shield. So this pretty much is what will be draped over the front of him. So it kind of looks like the cloaks from Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. So they kind of look like that. You do get some movement here out of some of these parts as well, but you've got a nice detail work in here. It's got like a sparkle coat on it as well, especially on the inside there. So that looks pretty cool. So that's what you have for the full GN shield. You also get 2 beam sabers. So you get those, got It's got the sparkles at the bottom. So you do get 2 beam sabers. Then you get 4 GN pistols. So these are the side guns. So I'm sure that you can probably place these on the side skirts, but you do get 4 of these. So they look pretty cool. We've got a nice little, looks like a sticker there on there. So you got some decent color separation for the GN pistols. Then you have the holders for the GN pistols. So you actually can open these and then put the pistols inside here. So it goes in like this, and then you can snap that together like that. So these are holders. These can go on his legs, and these can go on the Devise backpack. So you do get 2 of these. Then the Dynames comes with 5 sets of hands. Of course, he has the closed ones on him. You got the open hands there. You get 2 versions of the trigger finger hands here, and more than likely your beam saber hands there. So let's take a look at the Gundam Dynames' articulation. So for the head, he can look up, way up. So that's really, really good, especially since he's a sniper. He has that shooting up pose. So I think that that's really, really good. He's got way, way down. He's got side to side. So he's got a little bit of side to side. Let's see if he can do 360. Looks like he can. I will say that the 2 side pieces can kind of get in the way, but you can push those down as well. So that's what you have for the head. For the shoulder, he can raise that up shoulder length a little bit higher than that. So I do like that. He does have 360. Let's see. Does he have 360? He does. This armor piece will move up and down. So he has that. He's got some in and out. For the bicep, he cannot spin it at the bicep. It's kind of like the Estrella, where you see these 2 pieces together. If you try to move that, it'll want to separate. But he does have it at the bottom of the bicep, so you can spin it this way. So I would say, generally speaking, that's pretty good. Let's take a look at the elbow. Now he does have this band here, so I don't know if they're gonna give me enough space. That's not too bad, even though he's got the band there on the side, but you do have a double hinge here and here. So I would like to see that a little bit closer to the shoulder there, but it's not horrible. No movement on the forearm because he's gonna wanna spin right at the top of the elbow, but let's take a look at the wrist. So for the wrist, he's got up and down. He's got a little bit of out and not much in. So he's got a little bit there. Of course, that's on a ball joint in there. So you do have that. Let's see if that moves up anymore. That looks like that's about it. So that's what you have for the wrist. For the chest area, let's see if he's got some inwards. So he does have inwards. So he's got that. Not too bad. Not really much backwards. Let's see if he's got side to side. I would say no, that's more his hips. And it looks like it's probably because of the GN drive there. For whatever reason, with a lot of the Gundam 00s, you get no side to side. We saw that with the Exia. So that's unfortunate. Let's see if he can spin at 360. I would say probably not, especially with his back skirt. Let's see if we can take that off and let's see if he can spin it that way. Let's see. So I would say still no. You've got about 45 degrees there, but when it hits the front of the front skirt there, so you can get it about 45. For the front skirts, you can move these independently of each other. They got a little give on the outside and the inside, so you do get a little bit there. Let's take a look at the side. Of course, we're used to seeing this with the Gundam 00 suits. You can usually attach things to the side skirt, so he doesn't really have side skirts per se. And then for the back skirts, this is kind of like a thruster. Now these do move, so you can move those up and down. They do kind of have a little bit of give, so you can go out and in a little ways. So that's not too bad for the back skirt. For the thigh, let's take a look and see what we can do here. So it looks like, I would say you can get between 45 and 90 degrees, not all the way. Let's see if we can. You can get almost 90, but I can tell that it's kind of wanting to scratch up on the paint work there. So it doesn't look that great. And then you've got 90 on the inside, so that's not too bad. So let's take a look. Can he do the splits? I would say yes, he can. So for the front leg, let's see what he can do there. So you can lift that up. That's probably about as far as you're gonna get it without the front skirt popping off. You notice that that tends to go out, and it is slightly at an angle in here. So if you go straight up, you'll probably have less movement there. Let's take a look at the knee. So he's got a pretty big knee thing here, but he does have a solid V, but really what it is, this is really staying stationary, and this is the part that's moving here. So as you bend the knee, you do have that nice V there. For the feet, of course, he does have that front shin guard, so that goes up and down. You can raise this up. Of course, that wants to do the whole foot, but that's not too bad there. You do have a down, so you got all the way down there. Let's see if you've got side to side. You probably do at the ankle, so you do have it there, but not at the front part. And mine is kind of stiff since it's brand new. Also, I've noticed is that this wants to go in and out too, so that gives you a little bit of leeway there, and nothing for the back. So that's what you have for articulation. I would say overall that his articulation is really good. I wouldn't say it's the best that I've seen, but it's kind of limited by the XEA. I bet you that the XEA is probably the basis for all of the standard Gundam suits. And so him not having any side-to-side articulation, I'm not that surprised at. But I think overall, I think he is pretty nimble. He can do the splits. He's got pretty good. Now, the only thing I would say is that like for the midsection, as far as you not being able to spin that 360 because he wants to hit this front skirt there, that's a little bit disappointing, but it's really not that bad. So I think for what he is, and considering that he has more of a boxy design than most Gundams I'm used to, I think that it's still quite well. The feet were very good. So that's what we have for articulation. So here we have the normal Dynames. So he's just got his armor pieces on with the sniper rifle on the side there. And of course he's holding the GN pistol. So this is pretty interesting. He also has missile packs here on the front skirt as well. And so you can open those and you can kind of flail those out there. So you can do that for all four of them. I'm just gonna do two right now, but you can do that as well. So looks really, really solid here. Now, of course, this is a pretty generic pose. Of course, I'm gonna put him in his sniper mode. And as you see there, you look when you push this up, the thrusters actually come out. So that's pretty cool there as well. So you do have that with the G in drive there. So he looks really, really good. And this guy is actually a lot more sturdy than I'm used to with a lot of metal builds. He just feels very, very heavy. And I think it's just because of the things that he has to do. And we'll try to put him in his sniper mode and see how agile he is, because that can be a hard pose for most Gundams to pull off. So you do have that. You also can push that down and the sensor comes out there in the front. So I think that that's pretty cool. But this is pretty much the normal Dynames. If you want to put like the stuff on him, you can put it on the sides here. So you can do it this way, or you can have it that way, I suppose. So you can do quite a bit with him as far as options. You guys know I like options, and it seems like with a lot of the 00 suits, you have plenty of options. But I think that this is a very solid start for this guy. So let's put him in his sniper mode and we'll see how that turns out. So here we have the Dynames in a classic sniper pose. I would say that this looks really, really good. He's got quite a bit of flexibility in the legs and the hips, so I do like that. So it's pretty easy to achieve this pose. Some metal builds have a little bit more difficult time being on their knees, but he actually does it quite well. I would say that for the sniper rifle, there's an adapter piece. You actually get a ton of adapters with this guy for the different connections and stuff that you get. So you can use these. I just use like the basic ones normally, but you do get plenty of those. And I think that this looks really, really solid. So I don't think he'll have any problems here as far as poseability, but I do like this style of him. And it's relatively simple. He doesn't really have a ton going on, but what we'll do is we'll put the Devise parts on him and we'll see how that stacks up next. So here we have the Devise Dynames. Now, there's a lot more to this guy than meets the eye. So at first glance, of course, this is very much Gundam Wing-esque as far as the cloak in the front and how this works. Now, when you open this up, all right, you can do quite a bit with this. As you can see, you kind of have this guns stored on the side. Now, with this guy, you get two full packets of adapters. Do not lose them. This is very important, especially that's gonna come into play later. So you can put these on both the inside of the GN shield, the full GN shield, I should say. So you can do that, and then what these will do is you can rotate these to the back. So you don't, in the front, you don't really have a spot for the GN sniper rifle, but with this, you can kind of have this up here. So you can put this in here. Let me get this straight here. And then you can kind of put this in here, boom. So you have that. So you have the guns on the side, you can have this here. So this is very, very amazing. So you have a ton of options as far as what you can do with this guy. So in order to put the guns on, you have these little brackets and they look like these. So what you do is you just kind of plug those out. Now be very careful when you're trying to pull these out, because if they go shooting across the room, of course, if you have animals or you have a lot of carpet, it's gonna be hard to see since they're so small, but they pretty much go in there like that. You just pull them out and then you can stick some of the adapters for the guns on here. So you can kind of stick this in here like this. All right. Now the thing is, not all of the adapters are the same. So you do have to figure out which ones go where. Of course, in the manual, it'll tell you that. I'm just trying to make sure that I got this in here right. So it would kind of go like this. And then you kind of push it in there just like that. So you do have that as well. So you can move this around quite a bit. You also have an extension here. So this can move. So that does go in and you can pull that out. Of course, I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't fall over, and of course stuff wants to come out, but that's kind of normal, but you can pull that out there and then you can put this back in this way, like this here. So you have quite a bit of things that you can do with this, and I think that it looks amazing. Now, we haven't even talked about the backpack, but you have quite a few things that you can do. So if you look here, those are the brackets that I was talking about. You just have to pull those out. You do have the missile pods here. You have the totes for the guns here. And let's take a look at the backpack here. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Okay, so of course, this is the original GN drive. You also have the arms here, and this is where your adapters are gonna come into play. And the reason why is up in here. So of course, on the Devise backpack here, you have these arm pieces. And I noticed that the Devise Exia had something very similar to this. So you kind of have these arms here and you can turn those around. So if you do want to put guns in there, now of course this is gonna make him a little bit unstable when he has all this stuff on there, but he still holds together pretty well. But let's go ahead and take this adapter off. And like I said, the adapters on this guy is really important. If you start losing them, you're gonna be in a world of hurt as far as what you can do. But you can put these in here like this. There we go, kind of like that. So these can open. So that's interesting. I didn't know it could do that. But you can put those in there like that. You can have the other pistols out. So you have something like this. This is really, really cool. I love these kind of options. What you can do with this is pretty amazing. And that's not all. You also can connect the pieces of the Estrella to this as well. So the big Hyper Mega Launcher, you can put this, it has an adapter piece here, and you can put this on the back and it should go in just like that. Boom. So you've got that if you want the Estrella shield. You have an adapter that will work with that. So you can take this, put this in here. Let's go ahead and take this guy. Let's go ahead and put this in here like this. Boom, so you have that. So I like the fact that you can interchange those parts with the Estrella, and you can make your own version of the Devise Exia, and you can have pretty much all of the different armaments that the Estrella had. And I think that that is really amazing. You've also got another one here. So this is the reason why adapter pieces are so important with this guy, because there's so much that you can do with him. So we're gonna pull this out just like that. And instead of doing kind of like the arms that we did before, we can also take the GN rifle that the Estrella had, and you can put that on here. Now, of course, having all this weight on him is gonna make him slightly unstable, but you can have that like this as well. And you can plug and play as far as the different armaments and stuff. And for the most part, he still stands pretty good. Now, of course, he's got a ton of weight on him now. And so of course he wants to lean back some, but I think if you mess with it, I think that you can get it the way that you want it. And I think having options for this kind of thing is very, very cool. So let's see if I can get his leg straight there. so he won't want to lean back. There we go. Let's go ahead and lower that down just a little bit. So as you can see, you've got a ton of stuff that you can do as stuff starts falling off, but you have a lot of options as far as what you can do now, and you're really only limited by your imagination as far as if you have the other Gundam 00 metal builds. You can really do a lot of stuff here. You can also plug this GN shield into this as well, but of course with him kind of wanting to tip back, I'm not going to do that just because he's already got a ton of weight on this backpack as is. So you have the arms out for guns, you have the arms out for holders for other weapons, you have the GN shield that can hold the other weapons with this as well. These can also be fitted on the back as well. That's why all of these adapters are so important. So depending on what you want to do with him, you have a plethora of options. So I am really impressed with how they did this Gundam Dynames. It is very, very good. And also I understand now why he's so sturdy, because with the amount of options that he has, you need a metal build that's not gonna be wobbling all over the place. The fact that he has square feet, I think works really good in his favor, unlike the seed suits where they're kind of a stylized foot, and they kind of get super narrow as they go further to the toes. But I think with this, I love this. I think this is an amazing thing that they did here, and I'm really impressed with this. So I think that if you are a fan of Gundam 00, yeah, definitely, you're definitely gonna wanna get this. But of course, I'll save my other thoughts for final thoughts, but really good for the Gundam Dynames. And then also there's something I forgot to mention earlier, that on the knees, he actually does have missiles in here as well. So I just wanted you guys to notice that. So he's got a lot of stuff going on with him. So I'm really impressed with what they've done with this Dynames / Devise Dynames. And I'd be interested to see if the Devise Exia has the same kind of options that this guy has, because he's got firepower to the 9, especially with the Estrella stuff on. So I really like that. So next up, we're gonna do some size comparisons with the Dynames, and we're gonna bring out some of the other Gundam 00 metal builds that I've done and just see how he stacks up. So of course, first, we're gonna bring out the Exia. So as you can see, I would say generally speaking that they're very close to the same size. I would say, yeah, they're about the same. Of course, it depends on how you're standing. If you have them standing straight up, you'd be a little bit taller, but with the Dynames as well. But that's what you have. So, of course, this is his celestial being teammate. So you've got that. Then you have the Gundam 00 Quanta. So, of course, that is without the GN shield that he normally has, but you do have that as well. So he looks really good together. And then lastly, we also have the Gundam Estrella. So I like this Gundam Dynames. I think that he looks spectacular. I don't know if we're going to get a metal build Gundam Kyrios or the Virtue. I think we probably should get one, but we haven't gotten one as of yet. Maybe those ones are not as popular. And the Virtue has a lot of stuff going on as well. Will you get an Awakening of the Trailblazer suits? Who knows? I know that this one has like the Dynames Repair. There is a metal build for the Dynames Repair. And I think one more other one, if there is. Of course, I'll put it in the, I'll put it on screen. But I think that the Gundam 00 family, as much as I'm not really a fan of the Gundam aesthetic here, as far as Gundam 00 is concerned, I can't deny how great the Dynames looks, especially next to the Exia and the 00 Quanta. So I really like what's going on here. So now we'll get to final thoughts. So last thoughts on this guy, the Gundam Dynames from Gundam 00. I really like this Gundam Dynames. Now you guys know that I'm not really a fan of the Gundam 00 aesthetic. And I won't say that this is my least favorite, because it's definitely not. I would say it's kind of in the middle of the road as far as the Gundam 00 suits. I kind of prefer the 00 Quanta, as I spoke about in other reviews. And I really like the Estrella as well. So I would probably put this roughly around, I don't know, 4 or 5 as far as my favorite mobile suits in Gundam 00. But I think the amount of stuff that you can get with this guy, even if you take the Devise part out of it and just go with the Gundam Dynames, can pretty much do everything that he did in the show. And that's really all I require from Articulation, is that he can do the things that I saw him do. And I think that this one can do it. Now, when you get to the Devise Dynames, that's where this one gets really interesting. The amount of options that you have for that is top notch. It is one of the better ones that I've seen in the metal build line. The fact that he can hold all of his weapons on him, you don't have to put any of them in the box. Now, it will be important that you keep all of the attachments that it has, because there are a ton of adapters for this guy. And between that and the Gundam Estrella and how you can attach the stuff to the backpack of the Devise Dynames, I think that one sets this one apart from all of the other 00 Gundam metal builds that I've gotten. It's just the options that you have with this guy. You really can do some interesting things with this guy, and I think that it is definitely worth it if you can find him for a good price. Now, as far as any negatives, there's not really much. I will say that once you start adding things onto the backpack like normal, it's going to become very, very back heavy. And even though his feet are very good, they're boxed, and so you don't have a ton of issues with him standing. Once you start adding a significant weight to the backpack, that's where the weight issues come into play. But that's really my only negative. His articulation is pretty good. The plethora of accessories that you get for this guy is really good. The fact that he can interact with the Gundam Estrella and some of the other 00 suits, I think is really, really good as well. Now, I know that there's a couple of different versions of the Gundam Dynames in the metal build line. You have this one, and I think you have the Dynames Repair 3. There might be 1 or 2 others. I'd have to look them up, but I think that this one, if you like the original Dynames in the Gundam 00 show, then to me, this is the one to get. I don't see why you wouldn't like this. So out of 10, I'm gonna give this guy a 9.5. I think that he's that good. I think that this is pretty much the best Gundam 00 metal build that I own. And that says a lot considering how much I like the 00 Quanta. You don't really have a lot of armor pieces falling off of this, guys. It's more of the accessories that kind of come off as you start to mess with him. But he's very, very solid. His joints are extremely tight, and he needs it, because with the amount of weight that he's going to be carrying, he needs to be sturdy. And I think that they do that and do that in spades. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching the video. Is the Gundam 00 saga over? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys could like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. Send this one out to all of the Gundam 00 fans, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.